Mama, Baba, and you.
Good evening. Thank you for tuning in for 2021 CrossCurrent Virtual Dance Festival. My name is Nai-Ni Chen, and I'm the Community Outreach Chinese Project Director for Flushing Town Hall. Our mission is to bring people together by presenting arts from around the world. And this hasn't changed since the pandemic arrived in New York City. Flushing Town Hall launched the virtual program series Flushing Town Hall at Home, and this is our second year presenting the CrossCurrent Festival online. We, of course, are working hard to get our audience back to our theater, and I wanted to share some good news. At the beginning of this year, we received some funding and we purchased some broadcasting equipment, so we are able to broadcast some concert from our theater stage directly with artists only on the stage, no audience yet. But even better is that next week, June 18, we're going to have our very first concert that is broadcasting live on stage with a very small amount of audience in the theater. So next week, June 18, please join us for the Queen's Jazz Orchestra Ensemble. So this is our 7th CrossCurrent Festival season, and we are very grateful to collaborate with Nai-Ni Chen Dance Company again. We hope to highlight Asian American perspectives by showcasing their works. And I would like to take a moment to thank our supporters who make this program possible. National Endowment for the Arts, New York State Council on the Arts with the support of Governor Andrew Cuomo and the New York State Legislature, New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Howard Gilman Foundation, Booth Ferries Foundation, Fan Fox and Leslie R. Samuels Foundation. And we thank Taiwan Glow Foundation, Celestial Love Foundation, MetroPlus Health, who support our Chinese culture-related programs. Tonight, we're going to feature 6 works by 6 choreographers. And after viewing their work, the artists will be joined by our panelists to have a Q&A. But before we get into the program, I would like to introduce our artists and panelists tonight. So please come on stage. And I'm just going to briefly introduce everybody, call everybody's name, and I'm just going to start with whatever I'm seeing on my screen. So we have Peju Chen Pot, our panelist.
Hi, everyone.
And then we have Maura Nguyen Donahue, our panelist.
Hey, everybody.
And Peter Cheng, artist.
Hi, everyone.
Andy Chung, festival producer. Nai-Ni Chen, panelist, and also the artistic director of the festival.
Hello, how are you?
Fiona Tan, artist.
What?
Hi, everyone.
Seyong Kim, artist. Chieh Hsiung, artist. Maya Lam, artist. Julia Foti, artist.
Hello, thank you for coming.
Thank you all for joining us today. So feel free throughout the program to leave your comments and questions in the live chat section of the live stream, and I'll collect them and pass the questions on to our artist and panelist. And next, I would like to pass my mic to the festival producer, Andy.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming and thank you for attending the 7th CrossCurrent Festival. This is a project that we have worked with Flushing Town Hall, and I would like to especially thank Ellen Kodak, who worked with me back in, it must be 2008 or something, way back to talk about what can we do to develop a strong contemporary dance program with a strong, diverse emphasis in contemporary dance. So so this is the program that we came up with, and it's now in its 7th season. In the beginning, it was Nai-Ni Chen inviting some of her friends who she admired and respect to the Flushing Town Hall stage, and since 2 years ago, we began to solicit for films and virtual, and this year we are doing completely virtual. So we're very grateful for the consistent support of the CrossCurrent program from the National Endowment of the Arts, the Mid-Atlantic Arts Foundation, and the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of Governor Andrew Cuomo and the New York State Legislature, along with, and then least, but one of the most important, is the board of directors of the Nai-Ni Chen Dance Company, who has supported Nai-Ni and her work for all this time, and encouraging us to bring important works to the community. And I'm one of the things I'm very, very proud of is the support that the community has really supported us from this, especially in the artistic community. We have been inviting some of the, probably one of the most well-known, most well-known Asian American artists to the panelists, to be panelists on this for this program. And I would like to mention more. So they're now on here, and let me introduce each one of them to you. Miora Nguyen Donahue is the director of the master's program in dance at the Hunter College. She's not only a accomplished professor and admired by her students, and she's also a wonderful choreographer and artistic director. Her own company had been commissioned in New York many times in New York City and toured extensively across North America, Europe, and Asia. And she also, in earlier years, worked with the Dance Theater Workshop, now it's called the New York Live Arts, on something called the Mekong Project, which curated and facilitated international exchanges. She also appears regularly in major New York dance conferences like Dance NYC and the Dance-Based Projects. She's also published extensively. She has articles written for Culture Bot, American Theater Journal, Dance Magazine, The Dance Insider, MR's Performance Journal, and she also was a guest editor for Critical Correspondence's University Project. She continues to be a creative artist as well as a teacher, a professor. Right now she's working on a Tide Project series, which uses reclaimed plastics and ocean detritus to look at how our bodies reflect ecological and cultural reflections. And she likes, and so we're very, very honored to have such a distinguished artist to be on our panel. Next is an artist who can't come in today because of personal reasons. That's Miki Orihara. Again, one of the most accomplished dancers in New York City. She has won, I think, at least 2 Bessie Awards in dance. She was a principal of one of the key principal of the Martha Graham Dance Company. She has performed on Broadway and with major choreographers like Twyla Tharp and directors such as Robert Wilson. She also worked with other companies, a number of other companies, and she has taught in amazing schools like the Kirov Ballet in Russia, Japan's new National Theater Ballet School, the Alvin Ailey School that is based here in New York City, at New York University. Right now, she's on faculty at the Hart School in Connecticut. And she also has published several DVDs related to the Mathagram technique. Currently, besides all this, Mickey is a curator and director of the New View Festival in Long Island City. So that's again probably one of the most accomplished Asian American artists. Then we have one of the probably most accomplished Asian American dancers, in New York. That's Peju Chenpat. She joined the Mathagram Dance Company in 2011 and received the Pastitano Primera La Danza's 2014 awards for the Best Contemporary Dancer. And she was named the year's Best Performer in 2014 and 2017 by Dance Magazine. Peju also received honor from the Hudson County, being the Women's History Month, and she also received the 2017 Bessie Awards for Outstanding Performer. Ms. Chenpat has worked with, again, some of the world's most celebrated choreographers, and she's the graduate of Taipei National University of the Arts, and she also received their Outstanding Alumni Awards. Recently, the government of Taiwan has given her an Outstanding Dance Artist Award as well. So we're very, very honored to have Mickey and Peju to be, and Maura. The last panelist, but not the least, of course, is our artistic director, Nai-Ni Chen. Nai-Ni has been working both in the community and across the world, leading her company to 12 countries around the world. And in New York City, she has appeared in most of the major venues, including Lincoln Center, in New Jersey, in the New Jersey Performing Arts Center is her home theater. And she is one of the most accomplished choreographers, having received 2 choreographers fellowship from the National Endowment of the Arts. And I think this year is her 4th fellowship from the New Jersey State Council of the Arts. And now I would like to having introduced the panelists, I would like to give the mic to Nai-Ni Chen.
Hi, thank you, Andy, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank Flushing Town Hall for hosting CrossCurrent for 70 years now. And it is so exciting to see many strong applications this year. As an Asian American choreographer, after having the company for 30 years, I have a very strong feeling about to create a platform to promote Asian American choreographers. And there are so many young talents out there, and I am very excited to see them this year. We receive many applications, and among them, we came down to six of them, 6 works to be showcased tonight. Of course, along with other 3 wonderful panelists, it was a kind of difficult decision, but we had to, come down to the final 6. And then the first, and also I would like to say a few words about, I know that, since the pandemic, we've all felt that the world is upside down and many things were on pause. But, choreographers and artists didn't stop creating. So you will witness that tonight. So first, I'm going to introduce the first artist for tonight, and her name is Maya Lam, a young lady who is a Manhattan-based dancer, choreographer, and interdisciplinary artist. She graduated from Marymount Manhattan College with a BFA in dance and a BA in business with a concentration in media and arts management, and with a minor in biology. At Marymount, Maya has performed works by Sandra Bell, Jessica Lange, Jen Freeman, Michael Wardrobe, Yin Yue, and Nancy Lushington. Maya has also curated and shared works through Marymount's Dancers at Work performance series and Marymount's screenplay. In addition to her training at Marymount, Maya has attended intensives at Harbor Street Dance Chicago and at the Martha Graham School. Maya is interested in investigative processes that challenge societal ideals and power structures and strives to comment on these concepts with a multifaceted approach. And now, welcome, Maya. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the work you're going to show us tonight?
Hi, everyone. My name is Maya Lam. I am a Filipino, Chinese, American interdisciplinary artist. I'm coming to you tonight from New York City on the land of the Lenape people. Tonight, I'll be presenting my film Vanish, which is an interdisciplinary exploration of the relationship between ephemerality and permanence. I find that as a society, we tend to value permanent over the ephemeral, physical and tangible over the felt and experienced. And I want to question this notion. So in a world that prefers the lasting, my film Vanish attempts to offer you the fleeting, giving you an instantaneous, momentary blip in time where all that's to be done is to exist and experience.
All right, great. So can't wait to see your work, Maya. And let's see, Vanish.
Now, the only time that exists, here in this instantaneous present moment. A burning flame, a gust of wind, a blooming flower, all bound by a lifetime. Circularity within linearity, vulnerability in physicality, accusatory in gaze. Strength in the weakness of paper, power in the capturing of air, beauty in ephemerality. Vanish.
everyone. My name is Peju Chen Pot. I'm originally from Taiwan. I'm an artistic director of Peju Chen Performing Arts Center and Jilin Studio. I was a former principal dancer of Martha Graham Dance Company, and I'm serving as a dance artist and dance instruction for Martha Graham Dance School. Now I'm going to presenting you Peter Chen. Peter Chen is a Taiwanese American director, choreographer, dancer who hails from San Francisco, California, holding a BFA in dance from the University of California, Santa Barbara. During his time at UCSB, Cheng was a recipient of the Matthew Allen Pulaski Scholarship, Patricia Sparrow Memorial Fund Scholarship, and Tonya Shimming Award for Excellence and Promise in the field of dance. Peter continued on to pursue professional training with several renowned dance organizations, including Alonzo King Lines Ballet, Cinderella Dance New York, Springboard Dance Montreal, Northwest Dance Project, and others. He's currently a company dancer with Converge Dance and has performed works by Kali Kwan from Ballet X, Amy Sounder, and Tiffany Magulaban. As the artist of Peter and Company, Chen's work has been presented at several prestigious venues, including Garage, ODC Theater, Center Stage Theater, CPR New York, 92nd Street Y, Justin Memorial Church, Dixon Place, the Mark O'Donnell Theater, and Arts on Site. Let's have Peter talk a little bit about his work. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peju. Thank you so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Peter Cheng, and my pronouns are he, him, his. I'm currently dialing in from the occupied lands of the Lenape people, or in Brooklyn. So a little bit about the work. The TALICA Wander was made possible through Dance Gallery Festival's 2020 Artsy Residency. It was a virtual residency because of the pandemic, and it was created in close collaboration with a longtime friend and collaborator, Marie Lloyd Paspe, and cinematographer is by the ever amazing Melissa Wu. And this work, in short, was really a catalyst for healing, really dedicated to my late mother, Nai-Ni Chen, who passed last June. And a bit more about the film. It was screened at the Los Angeles Dance Festival in partnership with the Luckman Arts Complex in 2020, and most recently through NJPAC's Asian American Allyship Through the Arts. And I hope you enjoy.
Hey, let's go to take a look at Peter's work, TALICA Wander.
Hey everyone, I'm Maureen Windonahu, she, her, calling in from the unceded lands of the Lenape, Wapinger, and Munsee people of Upper Manhattan. I am so excited to be a part of this and to introduce Seyong Kim, who is a fellow professor. I'm an associate professor at Hunter College and the director of the MFA program. I'm also performing an improv concert with Philip Hamilton soon, and I've got a new work premiering at the end of June in person live at Arts on Site with Women in Motion. So living in the strange transition from digital to in person, but so excited to be meeting all of these folks in a digital realm. Seyong is originally from Seoul, South Korea, and is currently an assistant professor of dance at Western Michigan University. He holds an MA in dance ed from NYU and an MA in dance from Sungkyun Kwan University in South Korea. He's got an incredible roster of somatic certifications, knowledge base, and a long list of knowledge there, and has taught at some incredible schools like Rutgers, Kent State, and has also taught at Perry Dance and for many festivals and ballet companies. As a professional dancer, Seyong has danced with the Metropolitan Opera Ballet at Lincoln Center, Albanian Opera Ballet Theater, Staten Island Ballet, Baltimore Ballet, Transverse City Dance Project, Nalia Ballet, Take Dance, and Oakland Ballet Company. In addition, his choreographic works have been internationally invited to Lanz Theater in Germany, at festivals in Italy, Mexico, Taipei, Seoul, at the Battery Dance Festival here in New York, Lindenwood, Cleveland, Midwest Regional Alternative Dance Festival, Chicago, Detroit, Boston, Jazz at Lincoln Center, and Nimbus Offline, and at BAM Fisher. So quite an incredible accomplishment of list of works. And let's let him say a little bit about his work for our festival, Incomplete Journey.
Okay, hi. Thank you very much for introducing me. Yes. So my piece, Incomplete Journey, is a contemporary duet between male and female. It is not a love story between man and woman. And when I made this piece with my wife, instead of thinking about our personal story, I try to find a more objective point of view in terms of the relationship, regardless gender things. So this piece is about a pure chemistry atmosphere between human and human. And yeah, Philip Glass is one of the most influential American composer of the 20th century. And since his music reflects human beings' emotional dynamics, I was so inspired by his music, violin concerto, second movement. Yeah, hope you enjoy this piece, and thank you.
Wonderful. So let's watch Incomplete Journey.
Wow, what a great marriage between your work, Seyong and Philip Glass. Love it, absolutely love it. And next, I am going to introduce you Julia Foti. From North Helden, New Jersey, Julia Foti is a dance artist who showcases the intricacies of human condition in her performance and film works. Foti is a 2021 graduate of Rutgers University, where she earns a BFA in dance and BS in psychology. Foti worked with choreographers such as Stephanie Batten Bland, John Evans, Randy James, Benny Royce, and Abby Zawadzki. Julia has performed in various productions in New York City as a company member of Muhammad Moves and Artist. Foti is also a certified Vinyasa yoga instructor, dance instructor, and freelance model. When looking towards the future, Foti hopes to pursue a freelance dance career with the intention to create interdisciplinary art that pushes the boundaries of what Asian women are assumed to be. Hi, Julia. Could you talk a little bit about your new work, Tigress?
Hello, thank you for that introduction. My name is Julia. I'm a Chinese American woman adoptee coming from the land of the Lenni Lenape people, now referred to as Northern New Jersey. I created this film in collaboration with filmmaker Margot Maxwell and lighting designer Isaac Anderson. My film is about the pressures, the uncertainty, and the beauty found in identifying oneself. As a Chinese adoptee, adopted when I was a baby, growing up in a Caucasian family, I often felt very distant from my Chinese heritage. However, due to the unfolding of this past year, I've been challenged to stand in my truth and unfold what identity means for me, while also being open to learning the experiences of other people who I may not share. By sharing this film, I hope it opens up a new perspective on not only what Chinese American culture is or what womanhood is, but also gives the audience members an opportunity to embrace what all sides of what identity can be. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy.
Wonderful. Let's go to Tigress.
Wow, that was a beautiful piece. I especially enjoyed the visual. I am a big fan of bamboo. I would like to ask you, where did you find the bamboo forest? Maybe after the concert we can talk about it. Well, next I would like to introduce our wonderful artist, Chieh Hsiung. Chieh Hsiung is a graduate of the National Taiwan University of Physical Education and Sports, with a major in modern dance and choreography, and a minor in ballet, folk dance, ballroom dance, street dance. Originally from Taiwan, Chieh moved to New York 5 years ago. And in addition to performing, Chieh has presented her choreography all across Taiwan and in New York City. She was a movement instructor for TV series in Taiwan. In New York, she performed on Off-Broadway, Women on Fire in 2018. And in 2017, Chieh was invited to perform in the 92nd Street Y Harkness Dance Center Big Mouth Asian Choreographer Festival. In 2016, she choreographed part of the Fishlands 2016 World Tour at Lincoln Center. In 2015, she presented work as part of Breaking Glass, the Emerging Female Choreographers Project, which won the Audience Favorite Award. And welcome, Chieh. And would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're going to show us today?
Sure. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here, and I'm presenting my work, Lost in Translation. There's 4 different sections. I invited one of my musician friends to collaborate, and we remix our mom's favorite song. Hopefully, we can deliver some message that how much we miss home, miss our family. Also, the piece is inspired by COVID-19. In the meanwhile, we really want to deliver some love and supportive to our Asian community. Whatever situation we're in this right now, we are in this together. By the end of the piece, I hope can make you guys smile and enjoy. And thank you so much.
Okay, without further ado, let's enjoy it. Lost in Translation.
一问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分，我的情也真，我的爱也真，月亮代表我的心。你问我爱你有多深，我爱你有几分，我的情不移，我的爱不变，月亮代表我的心。轻轻的一个吻，已经打动我的心。深深的一段情，朝我思念到如今。你去看一看，月亮代表我的心。 不知道会不会也有爱情甜如蜜。任时光匆匆流去，我只在乎你，心甘情愿感染你的气息。人生几何能够得到知己？失去生命的力量也不可惜，所以我求求你，别让我离开你。除了你，我不能感到一丝丝情意。如果有那么一天，你说即将要离去，我会迷失我自己，走入遍人海里。 belong to you, baby. And you belong to me, baby. Yeah. Let's get the grooving on, baby. And just keep on dancing all night long. Can we keep on dancing, baby? I said, can we get the grooving on? Let's keep dancing, baby.
Wow, what a fun program. So many, I mean, incredible, different variety of styles and talents and abilities. So we're at our last work, and I am so excited to introduce Fiona Tsang to everyone. I know Fiona from Hunter College, where she went to school, and I actually got to see the work we're about to see when it was performed live. And it's so meaningful for many reasons. It was meaningful when I saw it a couple of years ago, but I'm so glad that a wider audience gets to see it, considering what we've been experiencing in the past year. But let me say a little bit about Fiona, who's currently an educator, dancer, and choreographer based in New York City. Her stage credits include the honor of dancing with On Guard Arts, Janice Rosario, another Hunter College alum, and Doug Verone under the direction of Hollis Bartlett. She's also choreographed several traditional Chinese folk dance pieces for the NYPD Asian Heritage Celebration, and her piece Unnoticed, which is what we'll be seeing tonight, has been showcased in the 2019 Dance NYC Symposium, New York State Dance Education Association, and for the Hunter College Dance Concert in 2019. So Fiona, do you want to say some things about Unnoticed?
Thank you, Mara. Thank you, CrossCurrent, for having me. Unnoticed is a piece about the lack of representation of Asian Americans, not just in American history, but also in media and conversation. As an educator, I wanted to choreograph a piece that speaks about Asian American history and the struggles that we had to go through and are still going through today, to show that we belong here and that we matter. I specifically chose Vincent Chin's story because the horrific tragedy that happened to him gave name to Asian Americans and the Pan-Asian movement. As Asian Americans, we must stand together and tell our stories. I hope you will enjoy my work.
Thank you so much, Fiona. I'm looking forward to sharing this with everyone. So enjoy Unnoticed.
Vincent Chin would be alive today if he were not Asian. And there is no question about that in any of our minds.
Do you think this trial would have...
It was the day before his wedding, and he was just trying to have a good time, maybe get a drink. He's this young Chinese American guy.
These two white guys, Ronald Evans and Michael Nitz,
noticed him, and Vincent was being a little rambunctious, obnoxious, because it was drunk. Come on, it's your bachelor party.
Witnesses overheard one of them say to Vincent Chin, "It's because you motherfuckers were out of work."
They had this idea that Japan was taking over the American economy.
He's referring to US auto jobs being lost to Japanese manufacturers. Vincent Chin is Chinese American.
The two guys ended up fighting him in the strip club. Then they got broken up.
The fight spills out into the street.
And they got a bat and hit him in the head 4 times.
He dies of a coma a couple days later.
His wedding date changed into a funeral date.
Ronald Evans and Michael Nitz, they basically get off with a slap on the wrist.
Nothing happened to them. They didn't go to jail at all.
They would have been more harshly punished if they had killed the dog.
It was just like, whatever, all right. This guy's dead. You guys seem like good guys. It's okay.
Your pain around your economic insecurity and you wanting to project that onto this Asian man is justified.
the first thing that you think of when you hear of Vincent Chen?
Painful.
Tragic.
Oh, hate crimes.
Injustice.
I've had plenty of experience in this.
Little could Vincent Chin have known that his death, lightly overlooked by a Wayne County judge, would spur a national revolution. Little could he have known that his death would give birth to Asian America.
Thank you for sharing your works with us. I'm sure a lot of audience can wait to learn more about the works and have a conversation with all of our artists and panelists. So I'm going to ask everyone to come back to the stage. It's very nice to see you guys here again. And I know that there's a burning question, right? We all want to know about where that bamboo grove is, right? So since it's so urgent, should we start from here?
Yeah, maybe Julia can talk about it because I came from Taiwan and my most memorable place in Taiwan is actually the central Taiwan. Xito has beautiful green bamboo forest. And I often find very inspirational just to look at them. So would you please tell us where you find this place in the US?
Of course. Well, I guess I made my piece originally in the fall as a senior dance major for my senior solo. And just conveniently, my school at Rutgers happened to have a bamboo forest. At first, I had no idea where I was going to film outside. And then my one professor suggested it to me, and it worked perfectly, obviously. So yeah, I was really lucky that I was able to utilize the facilities one last time for my final project.
That was very impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually have a general question about site selection. But each one of you have, other than I guess some of you are on stage, of course, the Seyong and Xiong, but many of you use it outside. So how do you decide? Maybe Peter and Maya can talk about those. How do you select your sites?
So actually my collaborator, Marie, who was appearing in the film, she used to live right there. So we did some scouting around the area, and it's in Long Island City. I think it's called Hunters Point South Park. And we did a 5 a.m. call, and it was a 6 a.m. shoot. And it was really, really beautiful out and perfect weather. So very nice to have kind of the sunrise and then the grass, and being in the reeds was interesting, very itchy when you're naked. But it was just like a perfect day for filming. The day before we scouted the location, I think it was overcast and gross. So the day of the shoot, it was perfect weather.
There's a question. Oh, there's a question. In the audience.
Okay.
Right.
Should Maya answer first, and then
So for my sites, I was using 3 different ones. I was looking for one that was specifically going to represent ephemerality for me, and then one that was specifically going to represent permanence, and then I wanted one in the middle that was going to combine the 2. So I had one that had just a tan wall that kind of looked like a museum space, and I wanted that one to represent permanence, and I wanted to make a barrel like a museum, and I wanted to take the humanity out of myself, so I put myself in just a tan sack. So that was the first site for me. The second site was on a rooftop. I really wanted a lot of airiness, and that was where I was wearing the green dress, and I wanted everything to be moving and never stop. So I wanted the sky to be the setting for that. And then for the final site, I wanted to have both. So I had the stone proscenium almost, and then I had the sky and all of the trees along with it. So that was combining them all for me.
Thank you, Maya. And there is one question from our audience, Emily Likely, and this is a question specific for Fiona Tsang. The question is, did you have any expectation for your piece during the choreographic process? If so, did it meet or exceed it? So Fiona, if you...
Thank you for the question. So I had 2 ideas in mind when choreographing this. It was, how can I make my movements tell a story, but make it empowering, and also to make the audience feel something, whether it's through the music or through the movements. And I specifically chose like an intense music to kind of complement the movements, because I want the audience to feel the story of Vincent Chin. And my hope is to kind of have an open dialogue about Asian American history. And I think after watching this dance, I think it did exceed my expectations.
Can I jump in for a second and just say I was so glad when I saw that because anyone who studies Asian American history, you cannot escape the story of Vincent Chin because it's our origin story of Asian Americans, right? It's the moment that Asians in America began to define ourselves as such. And so, but it disappears. And it felt like it had disappeared generationally. And it was like, if you bring it up, maybe you're carrying too much of the past trauma, and you should let the next generation rise beyond the trauma history. But we've seen in the past year that not knowing our histories has been so damaging for so many of us, and especially, I would say, for the rising generations who didn't live through those kinds of activisms. So I was just so grateful that you engaged with that way, and then that you represent it through this like beautiful dance with all these stunning dancers. And it's just, to me, it's a great example of how dance is the vehicle for change. And I saw that tonight over and over, just for everyone. Thank you all. Each work really profoundly revealed the depth and complexity of Asians in America.
Thank you, Maura, for your comment. And in fact, this is a great segue to the second question from our audience, which is a question for all the artists. But I think since we are talking about Fiona's work, we can start with her. The question is from Brandon Hua. And the question is, what do you hope for the all artists? What do you hope people will take away from your piece? So maybe we'll start with Fiona and then go, one by one.
So for me, kind of like what Maura said, that dance generates these important conversations that we need to create space for and have. And my hope for this piece is to create an open dialogue and how Asian American history goes unnoticed, literally. And our history is still a part of American history, and I want schools to teach about how Chinese immigrants came to America to help build the Transcontinental Railroad, or, Bhagat Singh Thind, and how he wasn't granted naturalization because he wasn't white, even though he fought in World War I. So I just hope that everyone will make the effort to learn about all of American history, not just the whites' version of American history.
Thank you, Fiona. And any artist that who wants to jump in, or otherwise I'll just start with who is, the first one on my screen. Maya, do you want to go first? Next.
Sure. So my piece was really referencing ephemerality and permanence. And in a lot of my dance histories class, a lot of my classes, we were learning that a lot of art that is permanent, such as like visual art, paintings, drawings, and whatnot, they're valued a lot higher than dance and other performance arts. It's not given as much notice or attention. So I really wanted to combine all of these different art forms and show the beauty in ephemerality and the beauty in dance and how it exists and then it disappears, and the importance of live art. And I also think that in this time, people are starting to value that a lot more because we don't have it anymore. So they're realizing that they're missing it. And so hopefully once everything is able to be back to normal, people will value it a lot more.
How about Chieh, whose work is lost in translation?
Hi, I feel like we have like such a hard year. So basically, like when I choreograph, I really want to just like bring up the happiness to the audience. It's really simple message want to deliver to the audience, just the happiness, joyful. And whenever they watch my work, I just want them to feel, I don't know, I just want them to enjoy and then smile. That's all I want to deliver. Yeah.
And I wanted to really thank you for bringing us back with those songs. that I remember. That really, I mean, I think it's very Asian to sort of look back and find, you know, where your joy could really come from. And it's those language specific melodies that speaks to us, to the first generation immigrants, as well as the second generation, and it may be a little bit lost to the third generation. So it's so good to see it, and it's not just a contemporary beat. You know, it has something that really is something very deeply Asian about it. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much.
And Julia, you want to talk about, and Julia's piece is Tigress.
I think the takeaway that I was intending for my piece was to have the audience reconsider the stereotypes that they put on Asian Americans. Growing up in a white suburban area, in a white family, I very much felt disconnected, or I just didn't have any Asian people to look up to. And I very much felt weighed down by those stereotypes. And it took me a lot of time, and I'm still taking the time to correct myself, correct my thoughts, expand my thoughts, and get more in touch with my heritage. So yeah, I think I challenged myself by challenging my limiting beliefs that I've had or didn't realize I had. And I hope that I came through for my work for the audience to see.
And Peter, whose piece is Wonder.
Oh, this is a tough question. I think everyone takes away different items, right? For me, as I said, the piece was really kind of an exercise in healing and catharsis. You know, my mom passed in June. We jumped right into this residency. I flew back from California to New York in August. Had a week of editing and premiered it on Labor Day of last year. So I think takeaways, you know, art as a method of healing, we all have different ways. You know, I'm sure painters can express through their art form. I think we as dancers, we can express through dance. I think film is a bit more permanent as opposed to something that is live and done. So I think in terms of takeaways, you know, kind of a memory of a very complex life into 5 minutes. And just kind of timing wise in terms of how close it was. But I think that, you know, art as a method for healing, art as a method for reflection, art as a method for really looking back. And if you watch the film again, it's almost like time in reverse, right? And the subtlety of that and the relationships between two people as dancers. We saw a lot of duets tonight. You know, what does that mean? And also takeaways as an audience for your own interpretation, right? I personally don't like telling audience members what you should see in a work. I think that everyone comes with their own perspectives, and to be open to that as well.
Thank you so much. And we have Seyong, whose piece is Incomplete Journey.
Yeah, the piece is about relationship again. So yeah, I think the exterior relationship between human is so beautiful, and their trajectory in life sometimes in the same direction, but eventually, like we all are individuals, and our own internal voice is stronger than unified agreement, I think. So the relationship is not perfection, and I think it cannot be, and it doesn't have to be, I think. And acceptance of the difference is the good start of relationship. But I think we're never gonna understand each other anyway. But it sounds like personal, but I'm not talking about the relationship with my wife. So don't miss. It's just like a general thought about the relationship in my brain. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you all for sharing. And we also have another question from the audience, and it's also getting late, so I would say this will be the last question for us. So this question is from Donny Girl 5, and this is specifically for Maya. The question is, what was it like to combine several multidisciplinary approaches into one work? Maya.
Yeah, so it was extremely exciting for me. I feel like I've spent the most time training or working with the mode of dance. And then visual art, drawing, and sound design have been things that I've always been interested in, but have never learned technically how to do. So when we entered this virtual space, I allowed myself the space to experiment and allow myself to do without knowing. And it's exciting for me to let go and then allow those modes to bring an amateurish quality that I'm trying to value, and then also allow them to quickly rise to the caliber of dancing that I've spent so much time on. And it's something that I definitely want to expand upon, especially as we go into more live arts. I think experimenting with sculptural arts, anything that's live and moving away from the digital world. I'd love to stay doing this digital art, but also expanding into live art as well.
Thank you, Maya. And I wonder, is there any last things any artist or panelist wants to add here?
Yeah, I would like to point out at one part in Maya's work, that's the second part when you the dancer in a fabric struggling. That reminded me of Martha Graham's Lamentation. So much it's about, you know, pulling your skin, like all the struggle your life, and a lot of you know, that kind of reflects my COVID life as well, constantly trying to break through the difficulty, moving forward. I think that's a part that's very moving.
Well, I think everyone did a wonderful job, you know, I think during the COVID. And then, as I said, you continue creating, and that's very valuable. And I see each one present your work, and not only you making statement, you also raise question. And those questions are hopefully for the audience to continue to search in answers. And so the conversation keep going on and on and on. I think that's what maybe all of us as a choreographer and artists want to have, right, from our audience. So thank you so much for your wonderful work.
Thank you all, everybody on stage and everybody off the stage watching, for joining us tonight. Please stay in touch and check our upcoming programs at flushingtownhall.org. If you like what we are doing, please feel free to support Flushing Town Hall and Nai-Ni Chen Dance Company. And at the very end, I would like to pass the mic to Andy, CrossCurrent's festival producer.
Thank you, panelists and artists. And it's really our honor to have all of you in one place, having a true, I mean, today we see how rich and diverse and different your voices are, and how thoughtful each one of you. You know, some are more experienced dancer choreographer than others, but each one of you have your voice and have your direction. And this gives us older generation that me and Nai-Ni have been struggling for 30 years. That there are strong and rich voices coming out of our community, and I also wanted to offer, and I'm sure Peju and Miki and everyone will feel the same, is that if any one of you needs any support, advice, please reach out. And you know, Flushing Town Hall as well. They are a strong institution in New York City. It's a major cultural institution that receives annual support from the city government, and so is Nai-Ni Chen Dance Company. We do have all kinds of help available. If we don't know something, we have tremendous deep reach within the dance community. So I also want to offer that. I also want to thank the audience for coming. I do also want to mention that last year was the 6th festival, and we were supposed to have in-person performances, and that include actually one of the Peter's work. Among all of you, Peter was selected last year, and so and we're still looking for that date and we're looking for. We hope that with Yayun and talking to director Alan Kodak, we'll be finding that date very soon. And I hope all of you, the audiences, will come back and see all these, see the work of bright Asian American work on stage. And with that, I thank you all for coming to the festival, and I wish you tell your friend about it, and come to see us live. And also a shameless plug: tomorrow, the Nai-Ni Chen Dance Company will be appearing at the Queen's Jamaica Dance Festival in person, outdoors at the Rufus King's Park, and it's free. So please come and enjoy Nai-Ni's work during the pandemic. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone.